back after more than 4 months without racing. We had a lot of expectation with what happened in Jerez and in Barcelona, and it's time for the top 3 and the flop 3 of the Australian Grand Prix. I'll begin with top, and for number 3 we have Ferrari. They showed us a lot of great things during the race and during the whole weekend. It's really nice to see that Ferrari can also fight as a team with who could be the best of the rest along Williams, and maybe Red Bull, even if they showed us a quite disappointing weekend. We have the best thing that could happen to Ferrari was Vettel, Raikkonen and Arriva Bene. These 3 men worked perfectly together, and this makes that the team is the best of the rest. And this is the good thing for Ferrari to have Sebastian Vettel scoring a podium. Their first podium since Hungary 2014. Even if it doesn't do as good as Raikkonen and Alonso did, as they won for their first race in Ferrari, Sebastian Vettel couldn't ask for more than the 3rd place. So there are going to be challenges, and it's really a shame. If I could add a little bad point, the pit stops that happened to Kimi Raikkonen. The first mistake that he did at the first pit stop, and the second mistake that costed the race. It's not. Ferrari doesn't deserve that. Doesn't deserve this. But I'm sure they will improve, and these mistakes will soon be forgiven. Top 2, Lewis Hamilton, and a bit more that Mercedes. Of course, we knew that Mercedes would be dominant. Of course, they would be in front of everyone else. But Nico Rosberg finished with more than 30 seconds of gap with Sebastian Vettel. So we have great Mercedes, we have a great team, and we have a great driver in the name of Lewis Hamilton. He really dominated his teammate from Saturday morning till the checkered flag. He showed us that every time Nico wanted to attack him during the race, he was still faster than him. And even if Rosberg had some problems with the fuel, and if Melbourne is one of the most critical Grand Prix regarding the fuel, this showed us that Lewis Hamilton was still here as the world champion he is, and this will give us some really epic fights, and let's hope that we have some really good fights in Malaysia. And of course, top 1 to Felipe Nasr. He was just impressive during all the race. Not so many rookies can say, I did 5th for my first race in Formula One. It's such a great result with a Sauber. Let's not forget this. This is a Sauber. Sauber didn't even score a point last year, and now they can have a driver, a rookie driver, in 5th. This is just so great. Those who watched GP2 last year know that he is very fast, and he didn't disappoint us that. And one of the most impressive things was that he was able to fight with Daniel Ricciardo, who is one of the fastest driver of the grid. And even if, as I said before, the Red Bull is kind of disappointing, let's not say that Felipe Nasr didn't deserve his place. And I would like to say a few things about the rookies. about Carlos Sainz Jr. and Max Verstappen. They had some bad luck with pit stops or technical failure, but they still were really impressive during the race, and they will still be impressive during all the season. And this is so great to have some rookies like this. So it's over for the tops, and we're gonna begin with the flop 3. Number 3, Lotus. This is not really a flop. It has been kind of bittersweet. Yeah, something like a bittersweet weekend for them. They had a great Friday, great Saturday with both of the car in Q3. The car is much better than last year, and we can see it only with that. Last year, when Maldonado or even Grosjean lost the rear, they couldn't have it back. Now they can still race. They can have the rear back if they lose the rear. So this shows us the improvement that happened in Lotus, about the car in general, or even only about the engine. Switching from Renault to Mercedes was one of the best things that could have happened to Lotus. But yeah, what happened in the race, like Maldonado's crash, which wasn't his fault, and Roman's technical failure, it's a shame that because they deserved much more. They could have fought with Giedo and Felipe Nasr. So yeah, it's kind of disappointing, but they will be there for the rest of the season. Top 2, Sauber and Giedo van der Garde. I'm putting aside what happened on Sunday, because they had the greatest Sunday. With the double points, with Felipe Nasr 5th and Marcus Ericsson 8th. It's kind of weird to see Giedo van der Garde, who is legit to drive for Sauber. He has a contract with Sauber. But why attacking Sauber the week of the first Grand Prix of the year? This is so illogical to say that we still have a good feeling with the team and we want Monisha to the ball in jail. For me, it doesn't make sense, and it's really a shame. I hope that things will be sorting out before Malaysia, because what they showed us this year, well, in Australia, they deserve to be on the grid with drivers to score points. They don't deserve to be talked about what happens with Giedo van der Garde and Justice. So yeah, it's really a shame. And yeah, from one, I think it's not really a secret that I will choose McLaren. I don't blame Kevin Magnussen for the hell of the weekend he's been through with his crash in free practice and the problem he had before the race. And Jenson Button being the only one out of the points at the end of the race. It's really a shame. We knew that McLaren wouldn't be at the level, but maybe not at this point. They will need to fight at the end of the grid, and it won't give the team a good dynamic. Of course, they won't give it, especially with what we saw with Fernando Alonso when Ferrari didn't have the results. They were not good dynamic. So I'm afraid the same thing will happen with McLaren. They will not improve before Barcelona, this is sure. I'm not even sure that they will be able to fight for the points by the end of the year. I hope what I'm saying is wrong, but yeah, I don't have a lot of hope to be very honest. But there are some positive to take from this race. Well, first the fact that Jenson Button finished the race, which is a miracle with the car they have. The fact that Jenson Button is known as not so easy to overtake, and what we saw with Perez was maybe one of my highlights of the race. It was really good to see, really pleasant, even if it ended by a crash. Really good to see, and we know that both Jenson Button and Fernando Alonso are not so easy to overtake, so we can have some pretty good fights at the back of the fields, thanks to McLaren. And in qualifying, they were close to the Sauber. Button was only at half a tenth from Marcus Ericsson, so this is kind of good to see. And Button had a great start as well. So there are some positive today, but McLaren is. These positive things are not enough to hide the disaster this weekend has been for them. So, thank you for watching. I leave you with the picture of the weekend. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. See you in 2 weeks for the Malaysian Grand Prix.